Hi, so before we get into this video today, I just wanted to put out a trigger warning for anything pregnancy, fertility, pregnancy loss, stuff like that. I am talking about PCOS as well. I'm showing pictures of hives and allergy testing that I got done last week, things like that. So if that type of stuff is things that you tend to steer clear from, come back next time or go watch another video. Don't want to be triggering anybody today. So that is all. Okay, video starting now. Bye. Okay, hello. So I'm once again in my room doing my makeup for the day. I have a pimple. Ignore her. I have two things to talk about today. One of them being the fact, that I had a chemical pregnancy this last week / last 2 weeks. So that was crazy. And then I want to talk about the name change for PCOS and how I feel about it and what I think it means and whatnot. And this isn't gonna be a super entertaining video. This is just me using making videos as a journal type situation. So let's talk about it. I'm gonna be practicing my makeup today for a look that I want to do for a baby shower that I'm going to this weekend. The mom-to-be is having a girl, so I wanted to do a pink look. And so that's what I'm doing today. So yeah, I had a chemical pregnancy. I will say it wasn't confirmed by a doctor. I didn't go get lab work done. But what happened was I had a positive test and a couple of positive tests, not just one. And it wasn't one of those ones where you're is there a line there? Is there something? There was for sure a line. And I was having pregnancy symptoms already. I feel I know my body pretty well, and I just knew there was something weird going on. And that all being said, the next day I woke up to take a test and it was negative, and I was like, what the heck? And essentially, I'm pretty sure I had a chemical pregnancy just because I got the positive, got the negative, and then started bleeding. And without making this too TMI, I passed something as I was bleeding. So that happened. And I will say also, the day that I got the negative test, I didn't have any pregnancy symptoms at all anymore. So that was super crazy. We weren't trying yet. We are planning on starting to try soon. So me being pregnant, put a little bit of a hindrance in our plans, but it wasn't anything crazy. And we just had to move up some things and plan around some things. And I that night that I accepted, I guess, that it was positive, I started thinking, okay, well, I'm going to be pretty pregnant around Christmas and that'll be fun. And, started adding things to an Amazon wish list and buying prenatals and things like that. I already take prenatals. That's my main vitamin that I take is a prenatal. I never really stopped after I had my daughter, but, it just, I started planning and had to kind of plan for a whole 180 around my life, totally changing within a couple of weeks. And then when I started bleeding and having negative tests, I was okay, now I have to change all my plans again. And so it was just a lot for my brain to go through. If you've ever had that happen to you, apparently it's super freaking common. A lot of women have it happen and don't even know because it's so early when it happens that a lot of people just think it's their period starting. And if I hadn't been testing almost every single freaking day, because I just had a feeling. I had a feeling and I knew there's something going on with my body. And yeah, so if I hadn't been testing every day, I wouldn't have known. But it was also significantly painful. I will say that first day that I started bleeding was pretty freaking rough. And, I mean, obviously it got better, but yeah. And then after I passed the thing that I passed, I, no longer had any pain anymore. So whatever that means. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on with my life right now. And we are still planning to try, you know, and in a couple months here, and see where it takes us. I am like I wasn't fully prepared yet. I've been like spending the last couple of weeks like preparing for being pregnant. I've been exercising more. I just want to be more in shape this time around because my first pregnancy was so hard, and I do think that a lot of that had to do with just being like super out of shape, and maybe my labor would have been a little bit easier if I had been more in shape and like stuff like that. So that is where I'm at. I've been not every single day. I'm taking it a little bit slower this time because I feel like whenever I start a new like exercise routine, I like go hard and like work out every single day, and it just becomes something that isn't sustainable for me. So I'm shooting for like 2 to 3 days a week right now, and one day being Pilates, one day being strength training, and then like days in between, if I feel like doing cardio or if I feel like doing like another strength training video or another Pilates, then I'll do it. But I'm not like forcing myself to do it. It's just working better for me. Like I've actually, for the last 3 weeks now, been able to like stay on track with at least getting 2 days a week. And I feel like for me, that's working better than trying to every single day do something, you know? So, like that's what's working for me. Maybe in the future I'll add another day and then, you know, maybe work my way up to doing something every day. But for now, this is like what's working for me, especially with like my schedule right now. My daughter's officially out of school for the summer, so I don't have a lot of time where I'm like able to do a workout except for at night, which like is hard for me too. So she tries to do them with me, and I do really love that. It's just that we have such a small house, and she's just in the way, and like that's fine. I want to be a positive influence, but yeah, it is a lot with her. So anyway, maybe someday I'll talk more about that. Maybe I'll actually like get some muscles. I know 2 days a week probably won't do a lot, but like it's enough for me right now for where I'm at with my like mental health and like situation and everything like that. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about was the name change for PCOS. So it is now being called PMOS. Apparently there was a vote. I was not involved in the vote. I didn't know anything about this until I think the day before it happened, which is kind of crazy because I consider myself to be pretty in the know with anything new that goes on with PCOS. Like, but I just had no idea about this one. And to be fair, I was taking like a little bit of a break from the internet and like being online when this was like announced. PMOS. So it's now, instead of polycystic ovary syndrome, it's polyendocrine metabolic ovary syndrome, right? I think that's right. And I like that. I think that like them putting metabolic and endocrine in the name is going to be really important like in the future. I've seen a lot of like, this isn't going to change anything, and you know, women still aren't going to be taken seriously and like blah blah blah, which yeah, I don't like doubt that. My doctor, as I've said before, she's pretty knowledgeable on it. I think just me being her patient has helped a lot because I'm like, this is what's happening, and like she's been great. Like my, you know, my primary care practitioner, I had an appointment with her recently, and she was like, you don't need to lose any more weight, which like I agree with, but you do need to be strength training. And I'm like, I know, I just like, I swear to God, I just get sick. I get into a good routine and then I get sick, and I also like get burned out because I like try to do too much too fast, and that's what does it. But anyway, I like metabolic because like we aren't taken seriously. Like how many doctors, like if you've had PCOS, can you hear me using the brush right now? Because I'm using my headphone as a microphone. How many times have we gone to the doctor with PCOS and they've been like, okay, well, you need to lose weight. And they don't like take into account that this is a metabolic situation, and it's a lot harder to lose weight with a metabolic disorder. Like they just don't care. And I like that, like now polycystic isn't in there anymore, because a lot of people with PCOS don't come and present with cysts. I did when I first got diagnosed, but then I got put on birth control, and so I stopped having cysts because the birth control did help with that. And like they were like, well, maybe you don't have it anymore, which isn't a thing that you can do. You know, have it forever. can go into remission and whatnot, but like it's a thing that you have for your life for now anyway. People are saying like maybe the name change will lead them to like be able to get like more like higher grants for research for like possibly actually finding a cure or a cause, which like would be freaking sick. I would love to see if there was a cure for it in my lifetime. And also another thing that I've seen people say is that maybe because it is now considered endocrine, which like we all knew, right? We all knew it was endocrine. Maybe now that endocrine's in the name, I guess I should say. Now that it's in the name, maybe like GLP-1s will get approval, like FDA approval for PCOS. And I really do hope that that's the case. I am currently paying for mine out of pocket from a compound pharmacy. And like it's still working. Like I haven't gained weight. I also haven't lost any, but like I've said, I'm not trying to lose any. I'm trying to build muscle right now. But like it's working, but it is still like expensive, and nobody wants to have to pay for that out of pocket. The compounded stuff works fine. It's all good. But I would still prefer definitely to get it from the pharmacy, right? Like, you know, I will say though, it is nice getting it in the mail too. I, you know, just walk outside and get it. And it comes with like ice packs and needles and things like that. I don't really like having to measure it out, like, and do it myself. Like, I've gotten so good at it that I can do exactly how many units I need without looking. But I would still prefer to just have the pen, man. But also, I like that I'm wasting less plastic by, like, measuring it myself and using a syringe and all of that. So, you know, win some, lose some. Another thing that I think is really cool about changing the name to PCOS, mainly just because I've had so many doctors, like, not take me seriously about it. Now they kind of have to, because it has endocrine and metabolic in the name, and who in their right mind is going to look at a metabolic and endocrine disorder and be like, okay, well, first of all, you need to lose weight, and I'm not going to give you a referral to a nutritionist or anything. You're just going to have to figure it out. And also, I'm going to put you on birth control, because, like, you don't treat metabolic endocrine disorders with birth control. That's like telling a diabetic, okay, you need birth control. Like, that's not. And another thing that I've been seeing too is a lot of people calling PCOS type 3 diabetes, which I think is so freaking funny. I love that. And it is, like, fair. You kind of do have to eat like a diabetic and like eat like a diabetic and exercise like a diabetic in order to, like, be a functioning person. And a lot of the things that happen with diabetes happen with PCOS. And also, PCOS in the future can lead to type 2 diabetes, and that's why it's so important to try to get it under control, like, as much as you possibly can. And like, I approve of type 3 diabetes. I think that's so funny. And let's see, I need my primer. I'm literally using the MAC Painterly paint pot that I've had probably since 2015, and I don't care that it's most likely super freaking expired. It still works. It works great. But yeah, that's what's going on in PCOS world right now. I haven't gone to my doctor since my last, like, appointment. They had changed the name by then, but I didn't say anything about it. I was there to talk about, like, this insane outbreak of hives that I had, which looks like we're done. We're done with the hives breakout. Thank God. I think we're done. It's been like 4 days since I've had a breakout. I'm gonna put in some pictures. Like, trigger warning, I guess, because, what the fuck? Like, if you're weird about, like, skin stuff, look away for a second. But I, like, started breaking out in these hives that were incredibly itchy, right? And I had an allergist appointment coming up. So one of the things that you're not allowed to do when you are getting your, like, allergy tests done is you can't take any antihistamines for 7 to 14 days before your appointment. So I wasn't allowed to take anything for these hives for 7 days before the appointment, and I was getting them every single day. And I've been having issues with the allergist's office, like, not answering their phone and not calling back. But regardless, I called them and I was like, hey, something is happening with my skin and I need, like, can I take topical Benadryl? Can I put it, like, on my legs? The hives were on my arms and legs, but mostly on my legs. And they never called me back. So I just, like, suffered through it for a week. Went to my primary care doctor and she's like, well, I'm not going to refer you to dermatology because, like, this looks like it's hives, obviously. It's, like, an allergic reaction to something. So, and I've at first thought, okay, it's because I switched laundry detergent because I started, like, I started doing a homemade laundry detergent because I'm, like, paranoid about my daughter, like, starting to have PCOS symptoms, and we don't know what causes it. It could be anything. So I switched to, like, all natural stuff, like, as much as I can reasonably do in my house. And, like, so I made my own laundry detergent, and it cleaned the clothes good, but I thought maybe that's why I'm getting hives. So I literally took everything in my dresser, rewashed everything, rewashed the sheets, the blankets, the mattress covers, like, everything in the house got, like, a total revamp. Like, I redid literally everything. This still has black on it from yesterday because I'm really bad at cleaning my brushes. Cool. I need a tissue. I'm gonna try and blend that out as much as I can, but makeup comes off. That's the good news at the end of the day, and maybe we don't get to practice the look that we were going for today. Maybe we get to do something else. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, there's, like, totally still black on that from yesterday. Whoopsies. What was I even saying? Yeah, I thought it was my detergent, and then I rewashed everything, and then I was still getting hives, and then I actually went out of town to my mom's house and was still getting hives at her house too. And then I got poison oak while I was at her house, so I had poison oak and hives, like, and I had the poison oak on my freaking face, dude. It was crazy. It was a real fun weekend for me. I don't know about you. Hope your weekend was better than mine. But, I finally go to the allergist. I'm going to insert a picture of the test that I got done. There are 6 things that they tested for that I am not allergic to. Every single thing else that they tested for, I'm allergic to. And that was just the pollens. Like, we didn't even do the food test yet. I have to go back, which means I can't take antihistamines for a week again in July at some point. I can't remember exactly the day. So, I'm gonna be going in for allergy shots. So, I asked him because he ran, like, a full immunology panel on me, and because I'm sick all the time, and I get sick so easy, and I'm sick for so long, it's, like, a whole nightmare, and, I said, like, could me being allergic to literally everything be why I'm sick all the time? Like, I know I'm sick because when I go in and they do, like, a nasal swab on me, they send it out and it comes back with a virus or bacteria 99% of the time. There's been one time where it came back as, like, you don't have anything. So, and even then, the doctor said, like, oh, it's probably because, like, whatever it is, it was just too late or too early to test for. So anyway, I know that I'm, like, actually sick. It's not just allergies. And, he said it's possible because my immune system is, like, constantly fighting allergens because I'm allergic to literally everything that I live next to. Like, half the stuff, like, I'm allergic to oak, and black walnut, and I have an oak tree in my backyard and a black walnut tree. I have 2 black walnut trees in my backyard. I'm allergic to every single weed, every single grass, all the things that they tested for, I'm allergic to. I'm not allergic to cockroaches, and there was, like, a couple of trees I'm not allergic to, but I think that's it. And one mold that I'm not allergic to. So, like, I am, like, down with the sickness pretty bad. And he said my immune system is just fighting so much to just, like, survive with the allergens all around that it is possible that, like, I am reacting more easily to germs because my immune system's already, like, overreacting to everything else. So I'm gonna start allergy shots in a couple weeks. I guess the way that they work is, like, they have little baby doses of whatever you're allergic to, and then they do little tiny doses at a time, and they build up to bigger doses for, like, 3 years, he said, until your body's, like, used to it or something. You build up an immunity to it. And he said each shot is, like, individually made for the person. So I have to wait a couple weeks because they have to make the shots first. And so I'd be going in once a week. At first he said twice a week, and then he was like, you know what? No, we'll do once a week. For, like, a couple of months. And he said after, like, 3 or 4 months, people generally start to feel better. So maybe you won't be getting sick so often after 3 or 4 months. I don't know. Like, we'll see. And then after that, I go once a month. And he said I can't do them at home. I was like, I am so used to doing shots at home. Can I just do them at home? He said, because there's a risk of anaphylaxis, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, girl, give me an EpiPen. I've got the phone. I can call 911. Like, I really would rather do this at home, but whatever. Anyway, after a couple of months of that, I'll start to feel better. And then 3 years is usually the minimum that he does them for. And he said he has a 2/3 success rate. So after 3 years, most people don't need them anymore, but some people do. I just have a feeling that I will be one of those people that needs the shots for longer, just because I've struggled for so freaking long with allergies. I didn't know a lot of the stuff that I was allergic to. Like, I knew some of the weeds, I knew some of the trees, just from, like, touching things and breaking out in hives. And, but, like, I'm allergic to pretty much everything on the list, and so I just have a feeling it might take longer for me. I don't know. But the good news is that, like, there's nothing, like, necessarily wrong with my immune system other than it overreacts to things like allergens and germs. Like, I don't have any, like, I don't have lupus, I don't have any autoimmune problems, which is what we were thinking, that it was something like lupus. But it's just allergies. Like, it's crazy that my body is just so bad at, like, being alive. Very hopeful that, like, after a few months of the shots, I can successfully be like, hey, I'm not sick as often as normal. That's different for me. These are working. Like, I'm really, really hoping that that's the case. Because, like, we're at a point in my life where I can't even go anywhere without catching some kind of disease. Or, like, my daughter being in school was really hard this year because she got sick often. And then I would get the same things that she was getting, but I would go down harder than her and, like, be sick for longer than her, which makes parenting really difficult. And, like, just, it messed up a lot of, like, the whole year. I was considering, like, pulling her out and making her do independent study. Like, it was a really, really hard year as far as diseases and illness goes. It is now summer. We're both struggling with allergies. I unfortunately did pass these along to my daughter, even though I really desperately tried not to. Like, they say breastfeeding helps prevent allergies, so I breastfed for 2 years for nothing. Like, she's allergic to almost everything too. I found her allergy results thing, and she's only allergic to, like, a couple of trees. She had no grasses, no weeds, nothing like that. No, like, penicillin, no molds, nothing like that. I had all of those though. So, and the doctor did say that doesn't mean she won't be allergic to them in the future. Like, she's just not right now. And as far as, like, the GLP-1 is going, like I said, I'm still on it. I'm not gaining or losing. I'm maintaining, and I'm doing really well. And I'm not having any PCOS symptoms with it. I guess that's, like, all I have as far as, like, the life update situation goes. You know, chemical pregnancy, allergy testing results, stuff like that. Next week, maybe. I don't know. I'm just, like, having, like, a crazy, weird mental health day today. I think I just need to, like, go chill and, like, be in nature or whatever. So, that's all I have for today. Hopefully next week will be a little bit better. But, yeah, let me know if you think that this look is too much for a baby shower, because I'm kind of thinking that it is. I think that it's a little bit much for just, you know, I just thought, you know, pink, because it's a girl, it'd be cute. But now I'm feeling like, okay, it's a little bit much. But anyway, that's all I've got for today. If you have PCOS, what do you think about the name change, and what do you think it means for those of us who suffer from this disorder? I'm gonna go, and let me know if you've had a chemical pregnancy, and, like, if the same sort of situation happened to you. So that's all I've got. Subscribe, because I need 500 of you to get monetized, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.